Have you ever thought about like where an electron goes when it blinks?
That's an interesting way to put it.
It sounds kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's these seemingly simple questions that can really like lead us down these rabbit holes of really fascinating concepts. And today we're going to be doing a deep dive into all that.
I like it.
And it's inspired by this source called the Eclectic Scout's Quantum Quest. You
Okay.
ever heard of this?
Yeah, I've seen this.
It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, it's cool how they try to tie quantum physics into like our everyday experiences.
Yeah, and like thoughts and dreams even.
Consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be kind of diving into today. And it all starts with this idea of like, what is an electron, really?
Right.
Like we all learned in school that it's like this little, planet orbiting the sun kind of a thing.
Yeah, the little solar system model,
Yeah, exactly.
which is not quite accurate.
Not quite right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the Eclectic Scout here is introducing this concept of quantum field theory.
Which is this idea that everything is really like these fields. It's not like little particles. It's
Yeah.
more like these disturbances in a field.
Okay.
So, a good analogy is like a pond, right?
Okay.
Like if you have a perfectly still pond and you throw a pebble in,
Yeah.
it creates ripples.
Right.
And so in this view, the ripples are like the particles that we observe, but they're not little solid things. They're
Sure.
like disturbances or excitations
Wow.
in this underlying field.
So it's not actually like a tiny ball zipping around.
No, it's not a billiard ball.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And the source talks about how sometimes an electron can like collide with its antimatter counterpart, right? A
Right.
positron,
Uh-huh.
and they just disappear.
Well, they annihilate each other.
Yeah.
But the energy doesn't just disappear.
Okay.
It gets converted into other forms of energy like light or, other particles.
I
So it's like, two ripples colliding in the pond and creating a new kind of wave. And this is happening all the time, at the quantum level.
Oh, that's so crazy.
It's a very dynamic place.
So we've got this picture
Mm.
of a universe that's just like constantly like the,
Yeah, just this constant dance of energy.
yeah, and then there's this thing called virtual particles
Right.
that the source mentions.
Yeah, those are even weirder.
What are those?
So virtual particles are these they're not quite real particles,
Okay.
but they kind of pop in and out of existence
Right, okay.
really quickly and for very short periods of time. And they can actually interact with real particles.
So are they like figments of our imagination, or are they?
Well, they're not figments of our imagination. I
Okay.
mean, they're part of this quantum field as well, and they have real effects.
Wow,
And
wow.
they can actually influence the behavior of real particles.
So is it kind of like the universe is just like shimmering with all these possibilities?
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Wow, my mind is already blown, and we haven't
Yeah.
even gotten to quantum computers yet.
Right, exactly.
So how do those fit into all of this?
So quantum computers, they kind of take advantage of this weirdness
Yeah.
of the quantum world.
Yeah.
And they use it to do calculations in a completely different way than
Okay.
traditional computers.
Yeah.
And it's really powerful.
And so the source mentions this idea that like quantum computers might be tapping into parallel universes.
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
Well, that gets into the many worlds interpretation.
Okay.
Which is this idea that every time there's a quantum measurement or a quantum event,
Yeah.
the universe splits
Really?
into all these different possibilities.
Wow.
It's like a choose your own adventure book.
Okay.
And every time you make a choice,
Yeah.
the story branches off.
Wow.
And so, whether quantum computers are actually accessing those different universes,
Yeah.
that's still up for debate.
Yeah, of course.
But it's a pretty mind-blowing idea.
It is mind-blowing. Yeah, so I mean, this kind of leads us to this other like big question, right?
Yeah.
Like where do our thoughts come from?
Right.
Our consciousness.
Yeah.
Is it all just like neurons firing? Or
Yeah.
could there be like something quantum going on in our brains?
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
And it's something that people have been thinking about for centuries.
Yeah.
And there are some theories that suggest that the brain itself
Yeah.
might be working like a quantum computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there are these tiny structures in the brain called microtubules.
Okay.
And they're kind of like these little tubes.
Yeah.
And some people think that they might be acting like the quantum bits.
The qubit.
Qubits, yeah.
Yeah.
In a quantum computer.
So they're like the basic unit of information
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a quantum computer is a qubit.
Yeah. And so these microtubules might be doing these really complex calculations
Mhm.
that we don't fully understand yet.
And that could give rise to consciousness.
Yeah, potentially.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea.
So what about dreams? The source talks about how dreams could be like glimpses into other quantum possibilities.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating idea.
It's like we're tuning into different channels of reality.
Yeah, like imagine if our consciousness is somehow fundamentally tied to this quantum world,
Yeah.
then maybe dreams are our way of experiencing those other realities.
It's almost like we're little quantum computers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe think about like historical figures,
Oh, yeah.
like Buddha or Einstein. They
Yeah.
had these like profound insights and visions
Yeah.
that really shaped how we understand the universe.
Yeah.
And what if those were glimpses into, these deeper layers of reality?
Wow.
The quantum realm, perhaps.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you think like there's just so much more to our minds than we realize.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of like the quantum realm and the essence of life itself, we can't forget about DNA,
Right, DNA.
the blueprint of life.
Yeah. It's amazing how much information is packed into that tiny little molecule.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And some scientists think that biological systems might actually use quantum principles
Right.
to process information.
Yeah, there's a lot of research going on in that area.
Wow. So what if DNA is like deeply intertwined with the quantum field?
Right?
If the quantum field is like this fundamental layer of reality.
Yeah, it's like the base layer of information
you
for
could-
everything.
So instead of thinking of DNA as just a molecule, it's more like this bridge
Yeah.
between the quantum world and like us
Yeah.
living beings.
Exactly.
Wow. So it's like
Yeah.
the quantum field is like this cosmic hard drive
Right.
that stores all the information.
Yeah.
And DNA is the reader
Yeah.
that accesses and translates that information.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, this source, the Eclectic Scout's Quantum Quest, is suggesting that everything
Yeah.
from like the tiniest subatomic particle to our minds, to the essence of life itself, could be interconnected through this like underlying quantum reality.
Yeah, that's the big idea.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it really challenges our understanding of like our place in the universe.
Yeah, and it makes you think like, what does it mean for our individual consciousness?
Right.
If the quantum field is the foundation of everything,
Yeah.
are we all just like little expressions
Yeah, but
of this?
maybe we're all connected in ways that we don't even fully understand yet
Right.
through this quantum field.
It's pretty amazing to think about.
Yeah, it is.
So to all of our listeners out there, the next time you look up at the night sky or you just feel a thought forming in your mind,
Yeah,
remember that there might be more going on than meets the eye.
definitely.
The answers to the universe's biggest mysteries might lie not just in like scientific exploration,
Yeah.
but also in the depths of our own consciousness,
Right.
where the quantum world just might be whispering its secrets.
I like that.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Please click like and then subscribe. Also share this video with your friends. Thank you.